We're behind. They're all fired up. What we got to do? First place, our defense has got to go out there and take the ball. And when we get the ball, we got to have 11 people that's going to do their job and try to score every time you get the football. If we do that, we'll be all right. Do that, we'll be all right.
Welcome to another edition of Football University. Here with me, Matt Goodell, one of your former favorite wide receivers here at the CTS-Sports room. Yes, we were like, oh, we got a deep crowd in here today. Want to welcome everybody to the show. Hope you're feeling excited. This is where we talk anything, everything football, NFL, college, Bama, SEC, NCAA. We're going to get it started. We're going to find a way to bring it back to the University of Alabama. So you can call me your de facto professor. Shouts out to the student section. Y'all are already rocking and rolling. Shouts out to Justin Summerlin, Stephen Hicks, Mr. Jones. We're going to get into it. We're going to, as you can see in the title, we're going to talk Alabama versus A&M. Alabama going to College Station. Do a quick recap. We know we got Arkansas on the horizon. Still going to discuss Milroe, seeing some improvements, seeing some things he can improve on. Tommy Rees, Saban, Kevin Steele. I mean, we're going to get into it. So Bama Nation, come in, tell a friend. Listen, you know we're going to talk NFL. We're going to talk fantasy. We're going to do it all. This is what we do here at Football University. So shouts out to the Bama Nation, RTR. RTR back at you, Mr. Stephen Hicks. Jeff Stapleton said, let's start right here. Hey, Matt, Bama won and my Niners crushed the Cowgirls. Listen, let's just start right there with the Crimson Tide, and we're going to get into the Cowboys later. Yes, Alabama won. Alabama won in College Station, which everybody was picking against Alabama. Joel Klatt, Josh Pate, who else? SEC Mike. A lot of Desmond Howard, of course, I think Lee Corso, all of the Alabama, anti-Alabama haters were going against Alabama. And, you know, listen, you had a lot of momentum. College Station, Texas A&M at Kyle Field playing at home, the 12th man. Alabama, a lot of people were saying Texas A&M had the better team, the better defense. the better quarterback, the better special teams. We know Anais Smith said, he's still he knows what Saban wants, and it was kind of personal. So, I was confident in the Tide. But let's talk about the game. Listen, Justin Summerlin says if we clean up the penalties, we will be unstoppable. And I agree. We were winning ugly. That brings me to my first topic. We were winning ugly. I mean, the penalties, we at least at a minimum left at least 10 to 17 points on the board. The blocked field goal, which, was a touchdown. Shouts out to Chris Braswell for the block and the return, but it got negated by a really cheap penalty on my behalf. But, I think if one thing Alabama needs to work on is staying disciplined. We got to find a way. We're still winning. This team hasn't peaked yet, but we still got to find a way to continue to improve on those penalties, having a little bit more self-accountability, a little bit self-awareness, discipline, especially on the road in hostile environments. We've got to be able to show how disciplined we are because, listen, the sky's the limit with this team. This team has not peaked yet. They haven't arrived yet. And just think, if we take away at least half of those penalties, this game is not as close as it is. We easily win by, 2 touchdowns, 17 points. So we got to, eliminate the penalties, as Justin Summerlin said. But it was on top, going back to the penalties, it made me want to pull my hair out. I mean, I was like, can we get this game out the way? And it was like penalty after penalty after penalty. So, I think if we can get those addressed, that can be huge for us. Yeah, I mean, I do, and I will say this. I do think because it's Alabama, I believe the SEC officials have binoculars on when it comes to Alabama and calling plays. I think they're really looking intently at Alabama players just because it's Alabama. If it's Kentucky or Vanderbilt or even Georgia or South Carolina, a lot of these plays not even getting called. But just because it's Alabama, they are really going to make sure they call these plays. So I think with that being noted, Alabama's got to take aware. And, Coach Saban's got to let the team know, listen, the refs have hyper focus on you. So we got to be even that much more disciplined because if we do anything out of in error, they're going to look to call the penalty. So I think if we work on the penalties this week, it's great to get a road win. It's hard to win in this league, especially on the road at Kyle Field, the 12th man. Listen, the guys came to play, and I got to shout out, some of the offensive guys. Jalen Milroe, 21 to 33, 3 tutties, 3 touchdowns. He was on fire. I still, at the beginning of the game, I still think we can continue to start faster, kind of get a better feel of the game. And that goes from Tommy Rees as well as, the offensive line. Still think if we put it together for 4 quarters, guys, this team is going to be scary. We still hadn't put it together for 4 quarters. We still tend to be more of a second half team coming out of second half. We're just on a different level. But Milroe, I got to give him his kudos. I think it was his best, one of his better passing games. I mean, he was hitting on, the first half, it still took him a while to get on the groove. He was still missing some guys high, a couple throws, but I think he got in the groove with Jermaine Burton, Isaiah Bond. I still think he's got to be aware of pocket awareness and, where the pocket is being formed. Sometimes I think he kind of stepped into the sack, but if he could just step up in the pocket, that's always my prayer. For Milroe, yeah. Shouts out to Justin Summerlin, calling it like it is. Milroe did something Bryce never did, beat A&M at home. Yeah, he did not do that. So I got to give credit to Milroe. I just got to give credit to his improvement. Milroe, I don't know if you're a fan of Football University, continue to work on your accuracy, continue to work on your pocket awareness, and listen, where the running lanes are, take advantage of it. Like, go there. Continue to get with Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator, and Tommy Rees continue to get with Jalen Milroe. I still think we have so many creative plays out there that we have not shown. But it was good to see him getting a rhythm with Jermaine Burton, Isaiah Bond, some of the other receivers, Nye Black. listen, we can just eliminate these penalties. We're gonna be a scary team to beat. So shouts out to Milroe. Shouts out to Jermaine Burton. I mean, Jermaine Burton came to play. I mean, he had almost 200 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. Isaiah Bond came to play, almost had 100 yards receiving. With Burton, I love the tenacity, I love the attitude, but maybe have a little bit more maturity of awareness when it comes to the kind of the going at the crowd. I love the energy. I don't want you to take away your energy, but kind of channel that to the team. You don't want to do anything to hurt the team. I think that's what Coach Saban mentioned today. So Burton, continue to excel because you're one of the top receivers, I believe, in the country. And just continue to build that rapport, continue to improve, and that's what I want to see with this Bama team. Continue to improve as a whole. You had the big win versus Texas A&M. Don't get satisfied. You all can really have a special team here at the University of Alabama this year. And like I said, the goal is to be 1-0 each week. Continue to handle what you can handle. The goal is to be 1-0 each week. We got Arkansas this week, so we got to focus on Arkansas. It's anytime you play an SEC team, it's going to be a challenge. So we got to be able to focus on 1-0. Don't get satisfied. Don't get complacent. I've seen, times in the past where Alabama's come on of a big road victory, and they kind of, the next week play a little bit flat. It takes them a while to get going. Listen, don't have that. You've already got everybody talking bad about you. Saying you're not this and that, use that as internal motivation and don't get satisfied. Continue to stay hungry. I'm talking about a hunger that's like no other in college football, where they see those Alabama guys and they're like, man, these guys hadn't even got it together yet. Just imagine when they get it together. So continue to stay hungry. Don't get complacent. Continue to you listen. When you get defenders or opposing teams, take it and drive them in the ground. You know what I'm saying? You got to have that type of mentality. So don't have that complacent mentality and don't get satisfied mentality, and continue to improve each week. Continue to come together as a team. That's what's the more important right there. So I want to shout out on the offensive end, Milroe, Burton, even Tommy Rees. I got to give Tommy Rees for credit for how he has developed Milroe. From week to week, Milroe has improved each week. So now we got to continue to improve, Tommy Rees. I think we can still get even more creative in the playbook. I mean, somebody mentioned the 49ers, but you look, they running like triple reverses, tight end pass to Kittle. I mean, we got so many things we could do, in the red area, so many creative things that I just think we can continue to install and maybe surprise the team on down the road. But I'm glad to see where the team is at right now. So I'm going to pause right there and let's get into the student section. Y'all are rocking and rolling. I love the student section. Stephen Hicks says, yes, we really need to stop penalties and sacks. Yes, I think we will. I think we kind of got – I think Jaden Roberts was a big kind of plus at that right guard position. He was going against one of the top D tackles in Walter Nolan, and he kind of shut him down. He really got to him. And he's kind of a 3-year guy. He's kind of, I think he might have solidified himself right there. So down court, listen, it's a lot of competition. Nothing set in stone. Like Coach Saban said, make me want to play you. And I think Jaden Roberts kind of went out there and proved it. I know we can eliminate the penalties, Stephen Hicks. I think as every Bama fan, we want to eliminate the penalties. So we got to continue to work on discipline, have self-discipline, have self-awareness, and have self-maturity to know that we want to affect the game in a positive way. Each play has its own history. That's what Coach Saban says. So you want to make sure you do everything each play to be successful. Let's stay in the student section. Y'all are rocking and rolling. William Bryan, shouts out to William Bryan in here. Let's see. G Bama Boy shouts him out. He said Rees called a good game in the second half. I gotta give Rees his credit. He has continued to develop Jalen Milroe. Him and Milroe's kind of getting on the same page, and I think the more they get on the same page, the more creative. I need Milroe to say, hey, coach, I like these plays. I'm looking at what they're doing in the NFL. I think this could work for us. I need Tommy Rees to do the same thing. Be a student in the game. Continue to, get creative, but still keep things the same thing. We had, and this is what makes our wins so unique. I saw the flow of the game at the beginning of the game, and I texted one of my group chats. I was like, we're going to have to throw the ball in order for us to be successful, even to try to run the ball, because that front seven is probably one of the top front sevens in the country that Texas A&M has, just from their front seven, and guys secondary, but their front seven is legit. And so all those guys are going to be playing on Sunday. But I feel like we had to take the ownership of having to pass the ball. Running game wasn't there. We had penalties, but we still found a way to win. And shouts out to the passing game. Milroe, Burton, Bond, the offensive line protecting at times, making right decisions. Milroe throwing the ball accurately, finding the rotation. I got to credit our offense. We made enough plays, to win the game. Was it ugly? Yes. Could we have, not been so scary towards the end of the game? Milroe, gets the ball to Jason McClellan. That might have been the play of the game, maybe the play of the year, when his knee is down. And Gary Danielson, listen, guys, I love CBS, but Gary Danielson, I have to mute the game, guys. This is just me being open with you guys. I have to mute the game and listen to the Crimson Tide Sports Radio. That way I can keep my sanity watching the Alabama SEC CBS game, because Gary Danielson gets so excited when things don't go Alabama way. Like, listen to his excitement, his pure joy when flags are on the play. Now we'll give him some credit. Sometimes he was given credit, but the level of excitement is not there when Alabama does something good. But that's what it is. But listen, when he was so quick to ready to say, oh, Jason McClellan's knee was down on that pass, but McClellan bobbled it with his knee down, and he caught it with in the air with his knee up and ran for the first down, which was a key first down, because we didn't want to put our defense back on the field. And I think we got to continue to improve in-game situations, just game situations in general. Listen, you look at Oklahoma. Oklahoma had a big upset versus Texas, but listen, I think Texas kicked a field goal with a minute 49. Oklahoma drove the ball downfield. I think scored the game-winning touchdowns with like 9 seconds left in the clock. So, we've got to be able to handle in-game situations a little bit better, management, how to close out games. And I think that's going to come. And I think this was a great lesson learning, a great teaching tool for Coach Saban, because we want Saban back, Coach Saban. If you're tuning in to Football University, we want you to be angry, Saban. Keep it up. Because we think if you can continue to iron out the things, listen, when this team puts together for 4 quarters, sky's the limit. We're going to be scary. So let's stay in the student section. Y'all are rocking and rolling. Let's see. Got a lot of shouts out to Joe C in here. Listen, G Bama boy has a great comment. He says the team finally has some confidence. I mean, anytime you can win on the road. One thing I love about this team is that they are so internally motivated that they know their backs are against the wall, even with some of the fan base. Even you still got Milroe haters out there. So even Milroe, our starting quarterback, still having to face, motivation to go out there and be successful. So I think this team internalized that. They know we are all we got. And I do think I think that's the confidence that this team has. The refs was cheating. Listen, that brings me up to my next topic. The SEC officiating is getting a little bit of suspect. Like I said, I think part of it is, and I was talking with Georgia fan today, alumni today. I was telling them that I think that the SEC has so much hyper focus when it comes to Alabama. It's like they're looking at Alabama, and Alabama football players are in highlighted. Like, our jersey numbers aren't white or crimson. It's neon green, because they are that's like they have binoculars when it comes to Alabama. And I think Alabama internally, the message needs to be from Coach Saban, listen, guys, these officials are having a hyper focus on you when it comes to any little thing. If you even blink an eye wrong, they're looking to throw the flag, because it is Alabama football. It is the Alabama Crimson Tide, especially in the SEC. So, it was a couple of those suspect offsides calls. I remember some of them we jumped offsides. It was some of them we didn't even move. They showed the replay. I didn't even see us move. The blocking the back on Jalen Dallas Turner did on Max Johnson's brother, number 19. The guy didn't even fall. Wasn't that and it wasn't even a block in the back. So it is some suspicious calls out there that can get corrected. But at the same time, Alabama has to use that and say, listen, guys, they're looking to call any and everything. They won't do that against them. They probably won't call that when Florida's playing or when Tennessee's playing or when these other schools are playing. They're probably going to call it because it's Alabama. And Alabama, you're held to a higher standard, especially when it comes to the officiating in the SEC. So that goes from targeting rules, the blocking the blacks. Like, don't lay it in the officials' hands. You know what I'm saying? So that's what will be, I'm quite sure, the message from Coach Saban regarding these undisciplined penalties and officiating. Like, they have a hyper focus on you. They have binoculars on you. So that is my 2 cents right there. So let's stay in the student section. Y'all are rocking and rolling. Let's see. Y'all are rocking. Carla Henderson. They are tired of Alabama being there all the time. It is what it is. Like I said, I mean, if you don't have haters, then you must not be doing something. So, I mean, and when it comes to any football nationwide, I mean, when teams are successful all the way on the West Coast or Pacific Northwest or in the Big Ten, the one sign that each team puts up is we want Bama, because Bama is the standard so much. Georgia's won back-to-back national championships. Nobody says we want Georgia. Okay. Alabama is so much everybody's Super Bowl and so much the standard worldwide that we get so much hate, even within the conference. Everybody says, it's all about the SEC. We're pulling for the SEC. No. When it comes to Alabama, because they're the only SEC team that has the most rivals. We're rivals with Tennessee. We're rivals with Auburn. We're rivals with LSU. We're rivals with who else? Georgia now. I mean, we don't even play them each year. We're rivals with Ole Miss. We're rivals with Mississippi State. I mean, the list goes on and on. Rivals with Florida. I mean, the list goes on. Rivals with Arkansas. We got them this week. Alabama is at the own level of itself. So, I mean, that's why everybody, they hate us basically because they ain't us. And so, like I said, like the team says, we got to internalize that and just focus on the Tide, because a lot of teams wish they could beat Alabama. It is what it is. So let's stay in the student section. Just like we said, yeah, they hate us when we win. Just like a lot of the comments, and it was just so gratifying. And let's take a pause. Can we talk about somebody mentioned the Cowboys or the Cowgirls earlier? The whole state of Texas took an L on Saturday. Texas lost to Oklahoma. We beat Texas A&M, and the Dallas Cowboys got obliterated by the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, the whole state of Texas took an L. I mean, it is what it is, but I just want to acknowledge that because that's what we do here at Football University. We talk anything and everything football. So, yeah, Carl Hinton says, yeah, Josh Pate picks us to lose. He hates Bama anyway. I mean, Chris Doering, it was so many guys that we got receipts on all these guys just picking Alabama to lose. And I think, the players might not say it. They don't let external factors affect them. But I'm quite sure internally they were hearing all the noise and they were ready to go out there and prove some things. So it is what it is. So let's stay in the student section. Neil Weldon, shouts out to you. Let's go to this talks about my next topic. I talked about how great the offense was. Rees Milroe, Burton. Let's talk about the defense. And I got to give credit to the defense. Listen, I think this is like our third or fourth game since the South Florida game where we've had, since the Texas game, we've had at least 5 or 6 sacks. I mean, we've had 2 or 3 players with double-digit sacks. Dallas Turner is leading the SEC, I believe, third in the country. I think he has 5.5 sacks. Tim Keenan led the team in tackles. He had a tackle for loss. I believe he had a sack. Justin Igboigbe, Jaheim Otis, Chris Braswell. I mean, listen, shouts out to Freddie Roach. I got to give Freddie Roach, one of my old teammates, credit where credit is due. I don't know what he's been doing, defensive line drills or getting the guys rotating in, but listen, those guys are coming. Listen, the second half is like we're wearing down on offensive lines, just on teams, period. They don't want to have to face us in the trenches. Now, we can only get it started earlier in that first and second quarter and continue it in third and fourth quarter. When we put it together, I think Alabama's going to be a scary team. But that defense, listen, Caleb Downs, this guy's just unreal. I mean, Dallas Turner, I talked about the front seven, Deontay Lawson, Marshall. I think Malachi Moore had a twisted ankle, so he'll probably be – he might not play this weekend, but he'll probably be back for Tennessee. But listen, that's one spot I would love to maybe see like an Earl Little or maybe Devontae Smith kind of get in that rotation. But Trey Amos held his own. And I got to give shouts out to Kevin Steele. Kevin Steele, do y'all not know his halftime adjustments has led to I got the stats right here. Sorry, I got the stats right here. His halftime stats, his points allowed in the second half is 0, starting with South Florida. Ole Miss, the high-powered offense with Lane Kiffin, Jackson Dart. Because of his Kevin Steele's halftime adjustment, they only gave up 3 points. 7 points to Mississippi State and 3 points to A&M. Listen, Kevin Steele, I knew he was just so much better to see Alabama defense look like Alabama defense. And somebody mentioned the turnovers earlier. We're getting turnovers regularly. We're being physical regularly. We're being physical at the front seven regularly. Listen, it's been a long time ever since the Pete Golden leadership. Maybe the past 2 years, we haven't been that physical. We weren't getting turnovers like that. We were maybe getting turnovers. Maybe we were probably last in the country in turnovers and sacks. And we had Will Anderson and Dallas Turner. Like, we had even more talent, but it is what it is. I just got to give kudos to Kevin Steele. Continue to get in your bag, coach, because we're going to need it coming up. Got Arkansas, KJ Jefferson. Got Tennessee after that. You know how that is. That game's going to be – but I'm not going to get ahead of Tennessee. I'm going to focus on Arkansas. It's all about Arkansas. So, yeah, shouts out to Kevin Steele and the defense. Caleb Downs with the big momentum shift, the pick, how he played it on the tight end was amazing. Listen, the D-line is great. I do want to highlight one player that I think needs to step up. I gotta say, Kool-Aid. I know I just hold Kool-Aid to such a higher standard. Man, I'm looking at Downs. I'm looking at Terry Arnold. I'm looking at Malachi Moore. I need like the one long touchdown with a nice Smith. I don't know if Kool-Aid was going for the pick, but he didn't even try to like get the tackle on the guy. That could have saved us a lot. But if Kool-Aid, if he could play to his potential, I don't know what's maybe holding him back. Maybe he's heard all the noise, but Kool-Aid can just be a baller player and be Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid, I got so much confidence in you. You should be the best player on that secondary, not Terry Arnold, not Malachi Moore, not Caleb Downs. It should be you. Go out there and prove it. Like, go out there and just ball out the rest of the season. Like, you are that guy. Like, I think just for me, I just see so many other players playing to their position. I'm like, I need Kool-Aid to really rev it up. Like, this is your time to make. You want to be the top corner coming out this year? Prove it. Go win the Thorpe. Like, go out there and, like, just go out there and do it. And Kool-Aid, you got so much potential. Starting on punt returns, maybe feel the punt, near leg, near shoulder, kind of get a better feel of it, man. Take one of them bad boys now. If you can't take it back, put Kendrick Law back there. Put Kobe Prentice back there at punt return, because them guys will catch it and they will go. So Kool-Aid, this is what we do at Football University. We know you're probably all SEC, all American. We want you to be even that much more. Like, you got your ceiling is so high. You can be even that much more dominant. Like, and I know nobody's throwing at you because you're locking down the best receiver, but still, I want you to be that guy even more so. So I just want to shout that out in my notes. Let's see. Let's go to Stu Station before I go to my next. Yes, Jamaican Bits. Yes, this is Kool-Aid can. I know Caleb thanks you, Jay. Yeah, I mean, listen, that just goes to show you flavor. Hey, Colin. Listen, Kool-Aid, we need you to be that guy. You're Kool-Aid McKinstry. Man, you're one of the top, you're the most athletic, I mean, probably one of the best to ever come through the state of Alabama. Like, just prove it out there. Have a hunger. We know you're holding it down, but take it even to an even next level where scouts, NFL teams say, I gotta pick this guy up in the top 10 pick right now. But yeah, he used to be the best player on that defense. So he said, if Kool-Aid can, I know Caleb can. Thanks, UGA. Like, it goes to straight. Alabama is still the premier college football program in this, basically the southeastern states. Like, you mean Georgia? I mean, we got Justice Haynes, Caleb Downs, Dylan Lonergan. Those are like the top 3 or 4 players in the state of Georgia last year. We were able to get them from Tuscaloosa. So yeah, we Alabama is still the premier program. Great comment right here. Texas A&M thought that Jalen would air it out, trying to keep him in the pocket. Glad Smith gave all us what we want. Yeah, and I think Alabama, this was a good coming out party, mainly we know Milroe can throw the deep ball. It was a little shaky at first with some accuracy issues, but I think this was a good lesson learned for him going into hostile environment, because we're going to need it. We got to go to Kentucky. We got to go to Auburn. Jordan Hare is always tricky and loud for the Iron Bowl, but I think this was a good learning lesson for him, just moving forward, of how to handle adversity, especially going against a really top front seven with those guys, Walter Nolan and company. So yeah, I want to get to my next topic. I talked about offense, defense. I talked about Gary Danielson. Can I talk about Will Riker, who I think is just being Superman for us? Shouts out to Will Riker. I mean, James Burnip goes down. Will Riker has the punt. He has the kickoff, and he has to do field goals, and he continues to be like superhero out there. Shouts out to Will Riker. This man is the man. I love his attitude. I love his demeanor. Listen, somebody mentioned the Cowboys. They could have used Will Riker, but the Cowboys couldn't even get in the red zone. So it is what it is. But yeah, Will Riker, man, he is Superman. So I had to shout out Will Riker. I know we mentioned Justice Haynes earlier. I would love to see Justice Haynes kind of come in maybe the fourth quarter. Maybe kind of give our running game a spark. You see Roydell, you see Jace. I think Jace is fine. Roydell's running, but sometimes I think mainly that third and fourth, late third quarter, fourth quarter, when we're trying to just milk the clock, let Justice Haynes run, because that guy, if you get him around the one offensive line, I mean, that's the last person a tired defense wants to see. They don't want to get leaned on by our big offensive line. But if you put Justice Haynes in there, that's like the Avengers coming in, or Thanos finally getting that fifth Infinity Ring. Like, we're really coming to destroy you. So I would love to see a little bit more Justice Haynes in the second half of games. because I think that's a weapon that maybe Saban's, I don't know if it's by design, but I think Saban's probably holding on to some of his young talent and really save it for on down the line, maybe playoffs, maybe SEC championship versus team down in Athens. You never know. You never know. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. So let's go to the student section. Neil Weldon says, "Man, I used to love to watch you play, man. Love the show, brother. Glad you love the show. I'm glad I was able to make a few plays and make you a Bama Nation proud." Neil Weldon, yes, I am talking about Gary Danielson. Yeah, I have to mute the game and cut on Eli Gold and the Crimson Tide Sports Network, Chris Stewart, all those guys, Tyler Watts, Christian Miller, who has a great show, The Miller's Edge, on Tide 101.9, I believe, in Tuscaloosa. Really good, really good. But yeah, it's Arkansas week. So I do want to talk about this. I talked about we got Mean Saban back, but I don't know if you saw any video after the game. I gotta give kudos to Miss Terry, who I think is the real head coach. Miss Terry I just love her energy. She might be the real MVP of Tuscaloosa, of the dynasty, and maybe she gets a statue. Maybe she gets a street named after her. Gotta give Miss Terry her enthusiasm after the game. I mean, it was just pure enjoyment watching the Tide roll on Saturday. I mean, we win the game. Rammer Jammers going on in Kyle Field, College Station. Miss Terry is just out there. The players just love her, from Caleb Downs. Terrion Arnold gives her a big hug. I mean, Miss Terry, even Coach Saban said before the Mississippi State game that Miss Terry had to coach him up to get on those guys' butts. So Miss Terry might be the real MVP. So I just got to give Miss Terry, amazing lady, got to give her shout out, her kudos, because she is the real deal. So I talked about, Bama hasn't peaked yet. We still got to continue to work on self-discipline. Preparation is key. Focus on being 1-0 each week. I talked about Gary Danielson, Miss Terry, the defense. I think Will Reichert. Yeah, I think if we just stop the penalties, we'll be on point. So let's go to the student section. Yeah, I want one of those Miss Terry shirts. We need a Miss Terry shirt with like Football University on it. How cool would that be? Yeah, Burton shut the 12th man down. I mean, Burton was going at it with Kyle Field. Even after the game, I mean, he was doing Rammer Jammer with the cheerleaders and then walking all peace sign to all, what is 103,000 up there in College Station, Texas. So, I mean, it's just great to see Alabama. Listen, it's been, as an Alabama fan, we know we went through having 2 tough road losses last year. It just felt good to have Alabama win on the road and Alabama look like Alabama back to back. I mean, it feels like Alabama's back. I think Saban made the adjustments, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it just felt good to get a win. So I think we're trending in the right direction. So let's say the Simpsons got a great comment from Sam. Sam says, "Sorry, Matt, but Tommy Rees play calling still stinks. We can only run the ball up the middle. We hardly ever run anything off tackle. We never just set up that play on Jalen's interception." Yeah, I mentioned earlier, Sam, I gave credit to Tommy Rees for, the play calls he did do and the improvement for Jalen Milroe week to week. But I did say on top of that, he still got to continue to work on getting creative. Him and Milroe needs to continue to be a student of the game. I mean, watch NFL games. I mean, look at what Kyle Shanahan's doing with the Niners. I mean, his play calls, basically, he just feeds the hot hand, basically. Or you look at the Detroit Lions, I saw the Detroit Lions run a triple reverse back pass to the tight end. And the San Francisco 49ers called the exact same play with George Kittle. Like, to me, that's what great offensive coordinators do. And I think that's something I want, you know, Tommy Rees to do. Like you said, he can. I know we still run the ball up the middle. And I think that's kind of by design because we've run the ball so much up the middle that nobody has really stopped it, and I think that I would love to see Tommy Rees get even more creative. Maybe we call a counter. Maybe we get under center. We can do more stretch zone plays, do more pistol heavy, do more motion. That's my biggest thing with Tommy Rees. Continue to get creative because he did it at Notre Dame when we didn't have the talent. I don't know if he's, not trying to show everything, but like you said, Sam, like we can run counters, we can run more pistol, we can run more under the center, more stretch zone, run more zone reads, really kind of throw these defenses off. But I gotta give credit to Texas A&M front seven. That's probably one of the toughest front sevens you're gonna see. I mean, all those guys across the board are gonna be in the NFL. When you can just rush for they're going to do it. So I love the comments, Sam. And, hopefully Tommy Rees is watching the show, him, Saban, Milroe, all those guys. Listen, get on the same page. Find the best plays that you like in college football, whether it's D2, D1, wherever, incorporate the concept into the playbook. And I think if we could, yes, to your point, if we could be more innovative, more creative, because we've got the personnel. I mean, we could do a lot. I mean, we can make it happen. I think it's coming. I just think right now, we've been running the ball down the middle until teams stop it. Like, if you can't stop it, but I do think it's a lot we can show, but maybe by design we're not showing, maybe we're keeping things kind of simple just because we know we're kind of continuing to bring on Milroe. And the more we can do it, the more we can do in our bag. I think the more we're going to have in store moving forward. So great comment by Sam. Thanks for joining the show. RTR, everybody. Let's see. Jeff Saban. So let's go to the NFL. Let's go there. This is what we do here in Alabama. We talked about the Cowboys losing. I talked about Kyle Shanahan, how he's innovative. Kyle's got playmakers all over the field. That's why the Niners are 5-0. I mean, we got playmakers all over the field from Kendrick Law. I mean, look at our receiver room. Look at our running back room. I mentioned Justice Haynes, Roydell, Jam. Look at our tight end room. It's so many things we can do for, schematically, formation-wise. We can continue to be innovative and creative. But like I said, the whole state of Texas took an L. Texas lost. And let's talk about the NFL. Speaking of the Cowboys, Dak Prescott throwing 3 picks. It is what it is. Dak is just, I don't know. Jared Jones, man, I just think he just continues to make bad decisions. He hired Mike McCarthy. I wouldn't have hired Mike McCarthy. I wouldn't have let him do play calling duties. Some of the draft picks are a little bit, I don't know. But it is what it is. But you look at the 49ers, man, they are, I don't know, they just rolling. So I think, speaking of the Cowboys, one of the biggest, the team that's leading in that division is the Jalen Hurts led Eagles fly. Shouts out to Jalen Hurts. He's doing his thing. They had a big win versus the Rams. Devontae Smith had a few catches. Another player, Tua Tagovailoa, who I still think is our top former Bama player that's probably leading in MVP race, categories. He had a big win, but he still threw kind of 2 picks versus New York Giants and New York Giants defense. So I still think it's things that Tua needs to work on, not turn the ball over, but they still got the win. But, talking about a creative offensive playbook, look at Mike McDaniels. He comes from that Kyle Shanahan tree. These guys had 2 rushers over 100 yards. Etienne, who's from Texas A&M, and Raheem Mostert versus New York Giants. So that's 2 weeks, I believe, that they had 2, 100-yard rushers. So I think that's something Tommy Rees can do. But Bryce Young, I want to talk about Bryce Young. He had to go to the Motor City, to play the Detroit Lions. Bryce Young just does not have any help. He doesn't have an offensive line. He doesn't have any players on the outside for real. I just think I don't know if Frank Reich's the guy. I maybe would have went with a younger, kind of innovative type of offensive coordinator. Maybe the Detroit Lions OC, or somebody who can really put a team together. But man, till Bryce Young gets the offensive line and playmakers, it's going to be pretty difficult for him. And I don't want people to think that CJ Stroud is just so much better. He should have been number 1 pick. No, I said this at Football University. The Houston Texans have a better situation from an organization standpoint. Offensive line, they got a better defense. They got better playmakers. They had a younger coach who brought in OC. It was under the Shanahan kind of regime. So, I just wanted to shout out the Bama guys in the NFL. But yeah, that is what it is. So let's go to the student section. Let's see. Jeff Saban says, my team is the best team in NFL. Jalen throws picks and his defense balls out. Shouts out to the Eagles fans. Fly as Eagles fly, man. The Eagles look really good. I believe the Dolphins are up there. Listen, I don't know what happened with the Buffalo Bills, but, they played in London. It's just the NFL. You got to stack wins. It's just like the SEC. You got to be able to stack wins. I know Alabama had an ugly win, but we got to be able to get those wins. So let's go to Sam. Sam's got a great comment. Let's stay in the student section. He says, we have so many playmakers on offense. Ja'Cory Brooks has been non-existent. I think it's a week-to-week thing. When you have so much consistency or competition, was the word I was trying to use, so much depth, whoever's consistent and being, effective at practice, I think we kind of found the right rotation of guys versus Texas A&M. Obviously, it's Burton. Burton has stepped up. Isaiah Bond, Kobe Prentice, Kendrick Law, and Benson. And I think Brooks, Jalen Hale, they kind of round out the rest of the guys. So I think that's kind of going to be our core receivers. But you got to do it in practice. And I know Ja'Cory Brooks kind of is in the doghouse the first game or two. So maybe that was a little setback. But, he's been taking ownership and taking advantage of his opportunities when he can. I know he had a catch or 2 versus Mississippi State. But, he's been taking advantage of his opportunity on special teams. He's blocked punts for us, that Ole Miss game. So, I think he's just got to continue to step it up at practice, take it to a new level. Like, make Coach Saban and them play. You know what I'm saying? Because Saban said that, and everybody thought he was just talking about the quarterbacks, but he was saying that about everybody. Like Jaden Roberts, for instance. Like I mentioned earlier, Jaden Roberts, I feel like I know Dalcourt was dealing with the shoulder issue, but listen, Jaden Roberts kind of handled his own versus Walter Nolan. Walter Nolan's one of the top D tackles in the country, so shouts out to him. So, like I said, you got to go out there and prove it. Make Coach Saban play you. And I think that's one thing that's going to happen, especially on the defensive end and that kind of nickel dime package with Malachi Moore. I wouldn't be surprised you kind of see maybe a little bit more Earl Little, Devontae Smith, maybe Tony Mitchell kind of getting a rotation this week. So, I wouldn't mind seeing Earl Little back at that safety spot. Just somebody who's just an athletic guy that can just play positionless football on the defensive end. So, because Christian Story got in and he looked very, very slow. It's like the guy caught the pass and he just let him score and run the ball like 15, 20 yards. I'm like, no, this is your opportunity to take advantage of your points. So we still got tons of season. We got to play Arkansas this week. Arkansas presents a lot of challenges. KJ Jefferson, Sam Pittman always has his guys ready to play. They present, their record might not show it or losing close games, but they're still a good team, and we got to come ready to play. It's the SEC. It's like the NFL. No matter who you play, you got to come ready, ready to play. So you just got to be ready to play. So we got to focus on Arkansas, be ready for Arkansas, be 1-0. The goal is to be 1-0. So great comments there by Sam. B. Gemma says, speaking of Tua, it was think about the college record Tua's would have said if he played 4 quarters in every game. I mean, most of the time Tua was done at halftime or the third quarter, and then Jalen would come to proceed to play and take over the rest of the game. I think that's the kind of approach I want to see with our running backs. Let Jace and Jam and Roydell get their carries 1 through 3. But kind of that fourth quarter, late third, let Jace and Justice do their thing. Because, listen, I just think those guys know to cook. They know how to cook. So, Sam says, yes, I've become more of a Bama Eagles fan due to all the Bama guys on the team. And they got a lot of Georgia players on their team, Jalen Carter and all those guys. But it's all about Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith for me. Landon Dickerson on the offensive line. Eli Ricks, Josh Jobe. I mean, we got a lot of playmakers on that Eagles team. So fly, Eagles fly. Yes, Brooks did play out there. He was on special teams, mainly punt block. Jeff Saban, great question. Who do you got tonight? Green Bay or Las Vegas? Man, they are playing in Vegas. Oh my goodness. Jimmy Garoppolo's coming back out of concussion protocol. I think I'm gonna go with Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs. Ooh, this is a tough one. I think I'm gonna go with Green Bay Packers. I think I'm gonna go with Go Pack Go on this one. Jordan Love. I think I'm gonna go with that. I think I'm gonna go with those guys. Let me know who you're going with, Jeff Stapleton. I mean, I'm kind of torn. I don't know what the spread is, but they are playing in Vegas. I just look at Mike McDaniels, and I'm like, they have not been looking impressive this year. Looking at Sean Payton at Denver, they have not been looking impressive. And he did all that talk this offseason, and Denver's just struggling, But shouts out to Pat Surtain. He's the best player on their team. So Carla Henry has a great comment. She says, excuse me, it was nice seeing Kendrick Long out there on kickoff return. He's a big guy. Listen, I think we can use him on punt return. I think we can, he almost broke one of those kickoff returns back loose. So I think he had maybe over 50 or 60 yards return the ball. So he's a really good return guy back there. He's just a ball player. I think he's our version of Deebo Samuels. I think we can find ways to get him the ball in the backfield, maybe the Wildcat, maybe any type of thing, just to kind of give him the ball at running back, just to see what defenses have to account for, put them in motion, do a lot of those things. So, I think that's what I'm saying. I think to Sam and I's point, we need to get Tommy Rees needs to be more innovative. I think look at Mike McDaniel, look at Kyle Shanahan, look at the Detroit Lions, OC, Ben Johnson, what they're doing. I mean, they're doing some really good stuff creatively, innovatively, offensively. So, put some of those plays in our bag, especially with all the playmakers that we have. He says, Anais, I thought he knew what Saban wanted. Yeah, Terry Arnold had a great tweet after the game. Him and Jermaine Burton says, I finally know what Saban wanted. And I mean, so cryptic and epic. I mean, it was just subtle and straight to the point. So great comment here. I mean, Sam is on the roll. Sam is like Justin Summerlin, doing the thing. Matt, do you think Alabama will have a more clear game Saturday? I hope so. I believe they will, but it is the early kickoff. Early kickoffs can be kind of funny. We had a late kickoff versus Mississippi State But now we're gonna have to have an early kickoff and be focused. Be as soon as we wake up and our feet touch the ground, we got to be ready to play and beat Arkansas. So I hope it is. It should be more comfortability. I don't think we need to come in there trying to look over Arkansas and focus on Tennessee. No, we need to focus on Arkansas because that's what get teams beat. You got to take it week in and week out. This is an SEC West opponent, and we need to stack up SEC West wins to get to Atlanta. We got to beat Arkansas. Arkansas is a good team. They're a good enough team. They played us tough last year when Bryce went down and Milroe had to win the game for us. And Sam Pittman always has his guys playing, tough. They had to go to Ole Miss last week. They played Ole Miss pretty tough. I think that game was a little bit closer than what people expected. So they just know how to play. And so they're going to come in here early Saturday morning. So I'm hoping Alabama has a cleaner game. Hope Alabama has a more of a non-complacent, non-satisfied mentality. Because this game, you got to focus on Arkansas. It's all about Arkansas this week. We got to be 1-0 each week. 1-0 each week. Continue to stack up SEC wins, SEC West wins for sure. So let's go. B Jammer's got a great comment. He says, I like to see Ty Simmons come in and put Milroe as a receiver every now and then just to cause some confusion. I think you're on the same theme as most of us are saying. We want to see some innovativeness, some creativity for Tommy Rees. I'm quite sure they've got it, but maybe they're just holding on to it. Maybe they're trying to show up versus LSU, maybe versus Auburn, maybe versus Georgia, maybe versus maybe Texas or Tennessee. I just think, it's a lot of things you can do innovatively, but I will say when Ty Simpson did come in the game versus Mississippi State, he did look pretty well. He throws are amazing. He's got incredible arm talent. I just think the offense has to change. I don't know if we could run the zone read option where he pulls it and run because I don't think he has that type of speed, to kind of run the ball. But at the same time, I think he has, he's athletic enough if we line up an eye and just kind of run just maybe kind of more of an A.J. McCarron type led offense, then, Ty Simpson can do his things. Joe Staples says he's got Green Bay. Jimmy will throw picks. Yeah, coming off concussion protocol. I'm going to go with Green Bay. I just haven't seen anything impressive with the Las Vegas Raiders. So let's say, Sam says, Hastings, Arkansas, we take you back memory lane regarding your TD catch versus Arkansas. What kind of route were you running on that play? So, I take you all down to memory lane. We're kind of ending on this here at Football University. So, we coming in Coach Saban's first year. We're 2-0. Arkansas is 2-0. Houston Nutt, Felix Jones, Darren McFadden, Peyton Hillis. Arkansas is coming into town. I think they were number 15, number 16 in the country. And we were, kind of licking our chops. We were ready to play these guys. One thing about Coach Saban, he, preparation. So we always felt like we were a really good 2-minute team where, Keith Brown, DJ Hall, myself, Mike McCoy, Nikita Stover, whoever you want to line, Nick Walker. We felt like if you spread all four of us out, we were unstoppable. There's no way you're going to stop us. So, the game goes back and forth. I think we jump out to like a 21-7 lead. DJ Hall's going crazy. John Parker's throwing crazy. But then Darren McFadden, he's kind of takes over the game. Him, Peyton Hillis, Felix Jones, we're going back and forth, even to the fourth quarter. And our defense, makes a key stop with I believe maybe 2 minutes, under 3 minutes left, and we get the ball back, and we got to drive 70 yards with under 2 minutes. And I had 4 catches on that drive, including the touchdown pass. But that play that you mentioned, Sam, we have been practicing that. One thing about Coach Saban, he's always going to prepare you for situations, game-like situations, and we kind of go over that routinely 2-minute in-game situations, whatever. Red zone, we need a touchdown. We're on the 3. We have been practicing that, so we had kind of prepared. And I kind of had an option route, and I felt like nobody. Not to sound cocky or anything, but I felt like I was open a lot that game. And so a lot of times I was just trying to let JP know, listen, I'm open on this play, or telling Applewhite, listen, this play works. And so, the previous play to that, I ran that play to the opposite side, but we threw it to Mike McCoy, and I believe it was like a little bit too hot for Mike. And so we called the play for me, which is I'm usually that position. And I remember breaking the huddle, and I immediately kind of see what type of defense they're in, and I'm like checking with John Parker Wilson. I'm like, JP, do you want to, you want me to check the audible to this route? Because either way, I was going to be open, whether I was running to the outside or faked outside and running inside. But JP just told me to keep it on, so we break the huddle. And you practice it so much, and everybody's like, Matt, you're doing it in front of national television and the crowd. Like, one thing, you're so mentally focused, you don't even think about the crowd or anything. So I just remember the ball being snapped, and making the play on Love, I believe the defender, and John, the offensive line, did a great job protecting. And JP laid the ball up there, and I just remember going up there and getting it, and coming down and with it and getting up and touchdown. And it was like, we haven't had a fourth quarter victory in probably 4 years or so coming from Coach Shula to Coach Saban. So to kind of have that, and then to have Coach Saban's kind of first big victory, SEC victory, beating the top, higher ranked opponent, it was just special. And so I think that showed a lot to recruits that, man, this Coach Saban guy knows what he does. And I think it kind of propelled, the success for Alabama moving forward. But yeah, I just remember catching that pass and like everybody coming and tackling me. You talking about being on the bottom of the pile, and 3, Mike Johnson, Andre Smith, DJ, everybody's just jumping on the pile. It was just like pandemonium in Bryant-Denny. It was just a great moment. So yeah, took y'all back down memory lane. Yeah, we need hopefully that answered your question. So let's go to the student section real quick. So yeah, I just want to go by just kind of show up. Green Bay. Sorry, I got some things going on. Kool-Aid getting overshadowed by Terrion Arnold. That's why I think Kool-Aid needs to step up. Listen, okay, cool. So we need Bryant-Denny to get loud, rowdy, and ruddy. Alabama football team, do not overlook Arkansas. Arkansas, we need to be focused on. This is going to show how good you are. You look at the good teams. You look at the 49ers. You look at the Eagles. No matter who they play, they come out ready to play week in and week out. So this is going to be a great score prediction on Saturday. I'm going to say 38-10 Alabama, 38-10 Alabama. That's my score prediction. So RTR, thanks for tuning in to Football University, the student section. Shout out to Stephen Hicks, Sam, Jeff Stapleton, Carla Hinton, William Bryant, Stephen Hicks, B. Jammin, Mr. Jones. Who else? Eric D, Justin Summerlin as usual. Neil Weldon, shouts out to you guys. You guys are amazing. Tune in next week where we talk anything, everything football, same channel, same time. In between time, enjoy football, and we're going to talk about it here at Football University next week. Peace. See y'all next week. Enjoy the show. Thanks.